Today, a new California leader was sworn in at our state capitol. Central California Assemblyman Robert Rivas is now the Speaker of the Assembly. That's one of the most powerful positions in our state.
KCRA 3 Capitol correspondent Ashley Zavala joins us now to explain why a new leader is stepping in and his message to Californians.
Speaker Robert Rivas' swearing-in ceremony marks the conclusion of a contentious year among Democrats at the state capitol. Rivas originally challenged the former Speaker Anthony Rendon for his leadership position last year. While voters elect assembly members, members of the assembly elect their leader. After the November election, lawmakers agreed to publicly put the power struggle to rest and voted on a peaceful transfer of power between the two, and that led us to today's events. Now, Speaker Robert Rivas took his oath of office this morning in front of many powerful Democratic leaders at the state capitol. That includes U.S. Representative and former U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, along with labor icon Dolores Huerta, Governor Gavin Newsom, and several other current and former state leaders. Rivas also invited a group of farm workers to attend his ceremony. He grew up in farm worker housing. He's the grandson of Mexican immigrants and is the first assembly speaker in modern history to represent a mostly rural part of California. He did not provide any specific policy proposals or say exactly how things will change under his leadership, but in his speech, Rivas was blunt about California's issues, even saying he's not sure if the opportunities he and his family were given when he was growing up would be possible now.
We must elevate California's working and middle classes by enacting practical measures that will lift the economic burden they face. We must make our public services the best in America. We should have the best schools, roads, hospitals, and we don't. It's time to ask ourselves why that is and take real action even when it's tough or unpopular to fix it. We must use every tool at our disposal to end homelessness because the inhumane conditions on our streets are completely unacceptable.
Former Speaker Anthony Rendon did participate in today's ceremony. You see him there hugging the governor. So what does this leadership change mean for you at home? At this point, experts note, not a lot. This is a Democrat replacing a Democrat, and the priorities are expected to be the same. As far as lawmaking goes, in his speech, Rivas publicly pushed lawmakers to focus less on how many new laws they can pass and instead turn more toward the impact they're actually having. He's expected to announce some changes in who leads which powerful policy committees at the state capitol next week. Back to you.